Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to VSL Season 1 for round number 19 here in the wonderful sunny side of Mexico. Rounding from last week was the American Grand Prix. We did find out our F1 champion. We are riding on board with him now. Matt Tibos became champion because he did have a fantastic lead going into that Grand Prix, and he needed to score 19 points to seal it. He finished in second and got the 18 points, but because in this system you get a bonus point for the fastest lap, and he managed to do that. So apologies for last week saying that it would go straight into this weekend, but it didn't, and he has been crowned F1 champion. So congratulations to him in the Renault. However, for F2, the championship is still alive with Kyle riding on board with him now, leading the way. He has still a sizable lead going into the final 3 races in this championship. We'll have a quick run through that standings at this present time as a few drivers start to set their banker lap times. We have Metzer already coming in with a 1:16.4. I believe that is on a set of supers as well. We'll just get the detail up. Yeah, set of supers. Few drivers opting for the from what the looks of hypers, which means we could be getting a wet start, because in this Grand Prix hypers are not really a very suitable tyre to be starting on. So it looks like we might be getting wet, unless these drivers just go out pump in some fast sectors but then don't cross the finish line and go straight into the pits, and then probably come out on the ultras, because the one stop is possible on the ultras to the supers, but the most feasible to do is the 2-stop on ultras to super. So it might be a wet start or even a wet 4 race, as Ahmed goes quickest with a 1:14.7 on the hypers. Excellent lap from him, but I believe a lot more time can be found through the rest of the drivers. But he currently sits on pole position in F2 at the moment. So as I was saying before, quickly run through the championship standings in F2 at the moment. We have Kyle leading the way with 260 points to Y-Racer, who has 224, and then there's a very minuscule gap of 1 point separating himself and Metzer, after he didn't finish last week in America. He has 223. Robo Jeep was not too far behind with 215, and then Major Davis with 213. So mathematically it's still a 5-way fight for this title, but if Kyle manages to get himself at least 18 points and the other drivers fail to finish, he will be crowned F2 champion. So a lot of drivers currently racing in F2 at the moment that have a chance of snatching this title. But yeah, no one has managed to beat Ahmed yet with the 1:14.7. Lee in F1 currently sits on pole with a 1:15.6 for that tier, and then Metz is currently in second. He did set his fastest on those supers, but he is coming out on a set of ultras straight after, which is quite interesting. Interesting to see that Ahmed has chosen the hypers himself. Kyle has set his lap time on the supers as well, so Ahmed might be going for a different strategy compared to the rest. There's still a fight in the constructors as well. Haas are leading the way with some fantastic driving from Neo, getting himself victories after victories since he started. Especially last time out, he got the victory in F1 and America. So he leads, Haas lead the way with 265 points, with Ferrari not too far behind. Well, in sense 44 points behind. So essentially, if they were to get 6 points more than Ferrari in this Grand Prix, then they would be crowned constructors champions. Well, no, they wouldn't. There's 2 races to go. Maybe not. Actually, no. If they were to get at least how many is that? There's 43, no, 50 per race, 100. They need to get, I seriously doubt they're going to get 60 points, which is impossible. So the constructors will be going for another Grand Prix, which is next week in Brazil. We'll see a few drivers that are still in the pits. Neo has done a very slow first lap with a 1:25.2, but he's currently on a faster lap now. He did go 9 seconds quicker than his previous. Coming through the final few corners, he will more than likely improve, but how far will he improve on these supers? Across the line, he sets a 14.2 on a set of super softs. That's a fantastic lap time from him on those harder compounds, so he will be the driver to beat, where there are only 3 drivers in F1 that might fight for that pole position himself, Matt Tibos and Evie Almada. So Ferrari will be wanting to, if Matt finishes, he will be helping himself in the constructors battle, as long as Davis does as well. But Davis retired from the session before setting it up, so he will be starting from the back of the grid at the moment. Still 5 drivers yet to set a lap time, obviously, well actually 4 minus Davis. Currently on on a full lap is Evie Almada. We're going to ride on board as he comes through this very difficult section of the S's. Very easy to run wide, but he managed to keep it nice and clean there. He has some amazing pace around this track, as I know. He is on set of hypers, so if it's a dry start, I'm not too sure whether he'll want to finish this lap, whether he has enough pace to keep himself up there, but he realises that he will be finishing on the podium in F1, even if he just finishes and into the pits he comes. Very sensible from Evie Almada, not wanting to set a qualifying time on the hypers, unlike Lee and Armin. Although Lee's lap time should be able to be beatable on a set of ultras, although he is on another set of hypers, so we're going to ride on board with him as he comes down this very long, one of the longest start finish straights on the calendar, into turn 1, takes as much curve as possible, and then into 2, curving as well. Try not to run wide as he loses the rear end and is in the wall. Wing damage for Lee there as he lost it on the exit of turn 3, and he's gonna have to be very sensible when reversing back on track. We know a driver in the other tier reversed back on track very dangerously in Japan and ended up costing a few of the drivers as Grand Prix. Lee is not very happy with that. He's running very slowly, lets his teammate through off the racing line, and will probably do a very cool down lap to come back in the pits and make those repairs on that Toro Rosso. See a Renault in the background of Matt Tibos. He is currently on a lap. Ride on board with him through 4 and 5, and then this double right-hander of 5 and basically just turn 6. It's classed as one corner, but it can be classed as a double. Now through these very tricky S sections, and the Toro Rosso is in the way of Matt on his fastest lap. Not where you wanted to be, that Toro Rosso. I believe that was Lee as well, so he's coming through these final few corners. He's very low on fuel at the moment, and he's going to be setting a banker lap time on the ultras through the final couple of corners, and across the line he goes quickest with a 1:13.7 on the ultras, so knocks Neo off the top step, as Neo has come out now on a set of ultra softs, wanting to improve to better himself in this qualifying session. Still 2 drivers left to set a time. We're going to ride on board with Evie Almada now, as he looks like he's going to be starting his flyer on the ultra softs, so hopefully he can get up there with the top 2. The worst he can qualify is 3rd, or even no, the worst he can qualify is 4th. So who want to see if he can improve. So down this long back straight he comes in that Ferrari. DRS wide open, ERS in the high mixture of overtakes. You seem to get a lot better straight line speed now into these tricky first couple of corners. Doesn't make the same mistake as leaded on the exit of turn 3. Stays very clear of getting a lap invalidation on the exit. And now up to turns 4 and 5. Nicely through here. Doesn't want to ride that curb of turn 5 because it just sends the car in the air and then you start to lose traction. Nicely round 6. And now into this very tricky S section. He's already tackled this once nice and cleanly. Can he do it again on the ultras? Nice and smooth through here. Doesn't lose any rear. Keeps it in 7th all the way through. Now on the foot down up into 12. Runs very wide on the exit of 12. Whether that invalidates his lap time, we're not too sure. He's still pushing on. Probably will still push on and probably go for another lap to keep that ERS in, and he has bailed into the pits. Felt that that was a lap invalidation and doesn't want to start on these ultras either. Publicly showing yellow flags as we're going to ride on board with Neo. He looks like he's going to be starting his flyer on these ultra softs. So down we go into this very long straight. We have a McLaren of Metza behind him. And he tries to nick the slipstream of that Mercedes of Ahmed on the way down, nice and late on the brakes into turn 1. Metza has retired from the session. He's felt that 1:14.7 is quick enough that he's currently sits in second in the F2. He is on the ultras, so you don't really want to do too many laps on those ultras to make the one stop or even just a 2 stop feasible in this race. There's 36 laps and he comes through turn 6, then 5 and now into turn 6 of that long, but it looks like a double right, but it's actually just classed as one corner. Now into 7 all the way through to 11 of these S section. Can he tackle them like he has before on those supers? He runs very wide on the exit of turn 11. Will that hamper him or will that invalidate his lap time? Not too sure. Into 12, doesn't run wide like Mada did. Now into 13, down into 2, back up to 3rd, up to 4th, and then should be going back into 2, but keeps it in 3rd. On the power, nice and early, and across the line he does improve, but not enough to knock Matt Tibos off of the top step of P1 and ends up just under a 10th slower than Tibos behind, who is on a lap. We can see YSL is on a lap at the moment. He's just come out of the S section, now coming into 12, takes the curb, doesn't run wide like Mada did, and into the final few corners. Quite tricky not to ride that curb of turn 13, otherwise that lifts the car into the air and you lose traction. Around the final corner he goes. Can he improve on that 1:16.1 across the line? He does improve a whole second to a 15.1 on those ultras, but he has done a lot of laps on those. It says there are 4 laps on those ultras, so he won't want to be doing any more to basically ruin his first stint on those ultras. Lee has just crossed the line to start a lap. We'll ride on more with him now. Comes down into turn 1. Still Evie O'Malley yet to set a lap time. I don't know whether he'll set one at all, but if he does he might be coming out on the supers. Into turn 1 he comes. Rides that curb beautifully, doesn't bounce the car over it. Can he not make the same mistake as he did on the hypers? Nice and clean through turn 3. His teammate and the Renault of YSL get out of the way perfectly. Now into this little tricky section of 4, 5 and 6. Doesn't want to run wide. A little bit of oversteer on the exit of 5, and now onto the S section. Lovely flowing corners if you get it right, but when you make one mistake it just ruins it for the following sections. Very difficult on a pad, but on a wheel it's quite simple to do. Keeps it within the boundaries of the track. So can he improve on a 15.6 that he's set already? Can he get anywhere near the 113s like Neo and Tibos have done? Around the final couple of corners Around the final corner he comes. Oh, he hits the wall on the exit, trying to get on the pit as early as possible. Across the line he does improve, but only to a 15.1. Just 1/100th quicker than Y-Racer in the F2. So that little exit on the exit, that little mistake on the exit of the final corner has cost him a few tenths, but he will be currently sat in P3 for F2. A lot of drivers are coming in now to retire from this race. I believe the only driver looked like Madder would look like might have been on a lap, but he's not going to be. He's going to be starting on fresh tyres in P9. Right on board with Tibos. It looks like he's going to be doing a lap on the hypers. He might bail out at the end. Who knows, as he comes through turn 3 on the exit. A little bit of a slide, but not too damaging to his time. Does he improve through the first sector split? It doesn't say whether that was equal or not. But rounding out turns 5 and 6. Now through this flowing S section. Only driver left on track to be setting the lap time. Through the S section he goes, runs very wide on the exit of 11, now into 12. That Ferrari did get out of the way, unlike Lee did. Through the final couple of corners, does he bail into the pits at the end of this lap? Or will he stick it out on the hypers? We'll soon find out as he rounds the final corner. He's going to go across the line, and he does improve. But it was an invalidated lap time, so that exit must have cost him the validation of the lap. But luckily for him, he will be starting on pole and will be starting on the ultras. So Matt Tibos gets pole position for F1, our F1 champion, with Neo in second. And then Ahmed takes pole position on those hypersofts for F2 with Metzer in second. Then Lee takes third in F2. YS takes third in Lee takes third in F1. YS takes third in F2. Then we have Overdue in fourth, Kyle in fifth, Ivo Mada in fourth in F1, and then it's sixth for Davis, who didn't go out at all. So whether he had an internet connection and left the session, I'm not too sure. We'll see if he lines up on the grid. A very gloomy look to the start of this Grand Prix. It is going to be a dry start. I believe it's going to be dry all the way through as well. So drivers that have started, I believe the only one driver that is on the hypers, might be two. I've got some work to cut out, especially Ahmed. He might not be in this championship fight, but he'll be wanting to show his pace early on, but he will have to bail out very early on those hypersofts. Just waiting for the drivers to load in. If drivers, Evio Mada has left the session. Not too sure what that is for, or why, or how. He is going to be starting on the grid. Can he get back in time before lights go out here? We have a car stood on track of Davis. We don't seem to see Madder's car in the session, so a bit of a shame for him. He was more than likely going to be guaranteed a podium out of this unless Lee snatched it away. So run through the order once again. Matt and Neo run up the front row of the grid for F1, and then Arvid and Big Max run up the front row for F2. Then Lee in third, Morris in third as well, Revolution fourth, Carl fifth, Evie Mada fourth, and Major Davis in sixth. Some work to do for the Ferrari boys. They're starting at the back, but don't see the other Ferrari on screen. We'll find out what happened to him. As RoboJeep has been disqualified from the session along with Davis. Naughty boys. Not making it easy for me. Pole position isn't really what you want to be in this Grand Prix, as it's such a long run down to turn 1. The likelihood of being in front come the end or the braking zone of turn 1 is very unlikely. So I either start to round the final corner, line up on the grid. We are missing that other Ferrari. There will be an empty spot in P9. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, for 5 red lights. Lights out, and Will Grigg is on fire in this Mexican Grand Prix. Nero gets an excellent start off the line. It's going to be side by side with Matt going into turn 1. He will have the inside, does Neo, and it's literally going 4 or 5 abreast for the drivers further behind. Neo up the inside into turn 1. Metzer looks like he's making moves on Ahmed to try and take the lead away from him, and Metzer succeeds excellently. Now running into this next tricky section. All drivers keeping it nice and clean. We see RoboJeep has fallen back a little bit, but importantly, the championship people that are battling have got in front of Kyle other than RoboJeep. So a long way to go in this Grand Prix. 36 laps as we go single file through this turn 6, now into turn 7. Will any drivers risk going side by side in this S section? How many penalties will people get with the little mistakes that can happen going through this section as well? So it's Matt from Neo, then Metzer, Ahmed. Davis has had a fantastic start from the back of the grid up to 5th, then Lee. It's Y-Racer, Kyle, RoboJeep, and then what would have been Evo Manor, but he is not in the room, as to say. There's a massive slide from Metzer further back as he's starting to pull away from Ahmed on those hypersofts. We have Davis that started on the hypersofts as well. Interesting strategic call for the Ferrari boys if they want to get anywhere near fighting for the constructors and the title himself. So into turn 1, will Neo be looking to make a move up the inside? He thinks about it. He did move over, then back into the slipstream of Tibos into 1. Holds himself back a little bit. Can he get a better run out of 3 and then into turn 4 under the brakes? No DRS activated at the moment. We have moves further back as Wyro says got past Lee in that Toro. So a little bit of struggling for Lee early on with the F2 drivers. Then we've got Kyle further behind our championship leader. Further up front, Ahmed is keeping his nose clean. He's still within that 1 second of Metzer, but he's starting to struggle on those hypersofts, with Davis all over the back of him on those fresher hypersofts himself. What lap will we be thinking that these drivers pit, if they, depending on how well they can push on them, as Neo has already got himself a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, so being in that dirty air of Tibos for the second lap has not really helped him as much, and probably ran wide and got himself a penalty. A little bit of frustration in that Haas cockpit, being held up behind, but can he get a great exit of the final corner as Tibos fetched the fastest lap of a 1:17.8. What will Neo do now into turn 1 in the slipstream of Tibos? Who's got the better straight line speed? It looks like the Renault at the moment, but the slipstream is helping Neo out into 1. He makes a little glance of a move, but he just holds back once again as Davis now up the inside of Ahmed into turn 1. The slipstream helps him there so much, and he is now up into P2. Will help his championship charge in the drivers very much as he gets by Ahmed. Now, can he chase down Metzer before these hypersofts start to die off? Will Ahmed be able to keep up with the pace of the Ferrari? Y-Racer, oh, a massive slide coming out turn 5 there. He will not want to be spinning up the rears of those ultras. He is on the better strategy compared to 2 of the drivers that are in front of him, so he'll want to keep it nice and clean. He's got Kyle all over the back of him, but then Kyle has got Lee, he got by on those super softs. So Kyle on an alternate strategy as well on those supers, so he'll be running quite long on those. Even if he does try the one stop, he's going to have to push at least 22 laps on those to make the one stop work. So we're coming around the final corner now to end lap 3 onto lap 4. Matt seems to get the better exit, but now with DRS slipstream on this a very long run, will Neo be looking to make a move up the inside into turn 1? Matt leaves in the space. Matt will have the inside into the following corner, but then Neo has the inside for turn 3, and the move has been completed. Fantastic from the ILRT driver, and now takes the lead, but Matt gets a better run on the exit of 3. He's going to go round the outside into 4. He will have the inside to 5. Excellent move from Tibos there, but a little bit of a slide has invited Neo back up the inside into 6, and now going to be side by side going into turn 7. Tibos has the inside and reclaims the lead after losing it into turn 1. Fantastic work from both of these drivers, keeping it clean through these tricky section of corners. And Matt needs to know that Neo does have a penalty. Further behind we have Metzer starting to lose a little bit of time to Davis on those hypers. Can he start to close in? But he might be pitting within the next couple of laps. We have Ahmed falling away. Those tyres are probably dead and buried at the moment. Will he make a pit stop nice and early for probably a set of supers? He does not come in, so he's going to have one more wire, so he's starting to close that in now with Kyle falling away on those supers. Neo now going to have to go around the outside into 1, side by side they go. Neo will have the inside into the next couple of corners. He realised his mistake going up the inside last time round and has retaken the lead from Matt, but Matt has got an excellent run out of 3. And now into 4, he's going to have to do it around the outside once again from the Renault driver. We'll have the inside into 5 and forces Neo to try and go around the outside into 6 as well. Inside line for Tibos, and they're still side by side, banging wheels, a little bit of contact, a little bit of feistiness between these two drivers, and Neo has the inside into 7. But a little bit of a mistake from Neo, and invited Tibos to try and go around the outside, but holds back for now, realises that he's going to have the benefit of DRS and slipstream going down the back straight if he keeps within that 1 second window. Now going round the final corner, who gets the better exit? Looks to be Tibos, as Neo tries to cover off any form of slipstream going onto the dirty side of the track, weaving all across the track to try and avoid the slipstream from Matt behind. He does have DRS and slipstream, but I don't think he's close enough to be making any moves into turn 1. If he keeps himself nice and close, get a better exit of 3, he will be able to get a better run on him into 4. DRS, a second lifeline of DRS. Is he going to try around the outside? He doesn't make it this time and falls back a little bit from there. As YRS has made the move on Ahmed going into 4. Excellent stuff from the Renault driver. Now up into a podium position on the better tyres at the moment, but he gets a horrible exit of 6, and Ahmed might be trying to round the outside into 7. Doesn't make it stick this time round, as Tibos gets a penalty as well, so that nullifies the penalty that was given to Neo at the start of this race. What I am going to do is invite our Ferrari boy into this party, who couldn't make it into the session or even into the drive, so I'm just going to invite him now, as he requested it in the comments. But we are going to ride on board with the leaders going into and Davis looks like he's got the move on Metzer, but Metzer wants to get the move back. Does he go later onto the brakes into 1? He doesn't. So a little bit of a corner cut from Metzer as well, but who gets the better exit? Metzer's tyre should be a lot better compared to the Ferrari's nose to tail at the moment. Metzer's going to have to go up the inside into turn 4. Gets the move nearly done. Round the outside does Matt Davis go, as Metzer gets a 3-second time penalty multiple warnings, and Davis holds on to the lead for now. If these two continue to battle, it might bring Juarez into the frame for the lead of this Grand Prix, and whether any of these will help. As Ahmed gets a 3-second time play, he must be really struggling on those hypersofts now. He's took them 7 laps. Maybe lap 8 will be where he wants to take them to switch onto the supers, but then he's got a very long stint on the supers for this next half of this Grand Prix. So what can Metzer do on the exit of turn 17? Can he get a better run than Davis? He's still within that 1 second window, but I think he's a little bit too far back. In the slipstream he goes, DRS wide open. It doesn't seem to be running a very high EOS mixture. Probably doesn't want to waste it, but it does close him up on the brakes into 1. It's now up to Davis not to make a mistake. Can this pressure from Metzer force any error? Oh, a little bit of error from Metzer. He rides that sausage curb on the of turn 3, and it bounces him over the corner, and he lost the rear a little bit and loses time himself to Davis. He doesn't want to be riding those thick curbs coming into this. He wants to keep himself in check, because sometimes if you do ride those curbs it can give you a warning for corner cutting. And as you can see, Juarez has closed that gap in now. It was 2 seconds, it's now 1.1. So he is drawing in this little battle for the lead. Matt Tibbles is starting to fall away a little bit to Neo. Probably wants to conserve his tyres a little bit more. Doesn't want to push. That dirty air doesn't really help with the temperature, especially around this track. Temperature is very important to manage. What can Metzer do as he rounds the finals corner? Can he get a better exit? And into the pits comes Metzer. Those tyres must be dead. That is a very early pit stop if he wanted to do the 1 stop, but I believe he will be doing the 2 stop now with pitting on this lap. What tyres will he choose to be going on? It looks like they are a set of super softs, so he'll be running very long into this race. No damage for him either, so where will he come out? And we welcome our F1 driver of EV Armada to the commentary box. What happened there when you left the session?
The game is not well put together.
Yeah.
The PG version, I think. Yeah, I was done qualifying and it just kicked me out during the.
Yeah.
Back in, and obviously got no car. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's not going to help you with the constructors fight you have with Haas.
No.
You're going to have to hope Major Davis brings home 25 points just to try and nullify that 25 points that Neo looks like he's going to be getting, as Matt Tibbles makes his early pit stop. Maybe an undercut. He has lost a huge amount of time to Neo before this pit stop, but onto the supers he comes. Yeah. So maybe the one
puts Davis into second then.
Yeah.
Still provisional P1 and F2, but Yuri.
Yeah.
No, that's not Yuri.
It is Yuri. Yuri's made the move on the inside. Yeah, he made the move on the inside of Davis into turn 1. Excellent stuff. Showing that those ultra softs are the tyre to be on at the moment. Davis's choice of tyre, not really sensible if he wants to go very far, but he seems to be doing very well on them. Around about now would be the lap time to pit for the 2 stop, as a lot of other drivers have. So what can he do?
What Davis does.
Yeah, what can he do now? Can he keep with Juarez through this next section? Especially on the pad, it's very tricky with worn tyres, as Lee gets a 3-second time penalty. What strategy do you think Davis will be thinking about now? Will he be wanting to do a double stint on the ultras?
He wanted to start on the supers, but he got screwed over. So, so I think it's going to be a 2 stop for him tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing go ultras or hypers, but he is sliding just there. We're down to the second to last corner. So surely time to pit now, and I think he is in. Yes.
Yep, he is in.
He's in. Do not speed in the pits, Davis. Come on. Good boy. Good boy.
Where will he come out now in respect to Metzer, who made that early pit stop? He's coming through the final couple of corners now.
Yeah, he's definitely doing it. He's out of the pit box. Metzer's coming around the final corner now. I think it's going to be easily out because Metz will have momentum. Ahmed as well. It's going to be close with Ahmed, I think. No, it's not.
Davis comes out.
Definitely ahead of Lee.
It is going to be close with Ahmed. They're going to be side by side going to one. I think Ahmed has got him with that extra overspeed. But what can Davis do now on those fresher super softs?
He's got to get past Ahmed as quickly as possible, and then back up to Metzer again, and hope that Metzer makes mistakes like he did in the first stint.
Yeah,
and that's where he can get him now. Obviously, Yuri can now just push. He's been on the better tyres.
Yeah,
don't count out Kyle and Matt, as well. So
no, they're on the alternate strategy to Yuri.
As well, so yeah, so we'll see how that goes on.
Oh, side by side with Tibos and Robo Jeep. Yeah. So he wanted to make that move as quickly as possible. He's about what's the gap to the leader. Let's have a little gap to the leader. Yeah, Tibos is 19 seconds. Yeah, Tibos is 19 seconds behind Neo. So if Neo was to make a pit stop between now and a couple of laps time, he might be going for the one stop from the looks of things. But he will come behind Tibos after the pit stop.
Yeah, I think possibly he could pit at the end, as Davis is making a move on Ahmed and into tier 1. I think what Matt's thinking probably is he can always pit at the end for hypers and set the fastest lap.
Yeah, because that bonus point.
Because there's not many F1 drivers tonight, so there's no worry. Lee's all the way into that.
Yeah, he's basically he's guaranteed a podium now with you not being able to get back in.
Guaranteed top 2. So
yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Matt's already wrapped up the championship last time out. So
yeah,
it's just a bit of a jolly drive, I think.
Yeah.
For Neo as well. All to play for in the F2. Cole's currently in 4th, but yet to pit. Yuri's still going, is he? He's just coming around the last corner now. So let's see if he's pitting. Yes, he is pitting.
Is he? Yeah, he is in the pits.
So Neo's onto supers. Neo's in the on the supers. Where is Matt? Matt's going to jump Neo. Well, he's just coming out now. So
yeah, by a long way. His teammate of Kyle is going to come out, and where will Toro Rosso of Overjeep come into respect to this? Behind Neo, importantly for Neo, but will there be any team orders between Kyle and Neo to let him through as quickly as possible?
It could be close between Yuri and Yuri and Lee. Going to T1. Lee's got the momentum. Yuri's got those cold tyres. F1 versus F2. And it
interesting tyre choice.
There. He's gone for hypers.
Yeah.
Hey.
So he might be doing the two-stop. Yeah, the two-stop is possible for the two ultras and the hypers. But yeah, Neo did manage to get by his teammate quite easily.
Yeah. Well, team orders there already, isn't there? But yeah, Neo's got 3 fresher tyres compared to Matt, so
yeah.
I think Neo's got this one in the bag.
Yeah. Very quick driver. So, you're basically one of your teammates in the ILRT as well.
Yeah. So very quick driver. Obviously in ILR is ILR1, so there's no slouch. So is Matt. They're both no slouches.
No.
Into this game, so very impressive. So it's no surprise that they've got a 3-second gap already to Carl in 3rd, who hasn't even pitted. So,
yeah, but he is on 13 lap old supers as well.
Yeah. So yeah, so Metzer and Davis at the moment then. So Robbie obviously second, but battle provisional P1 is still Metzer. Davis is 3 seconds behind Metzer now. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres, so we'll see what Davis can do.
Yeah,
can he take these supers to the end?
It'll be very difficult.
If Matt and Neo have pitted this early, it is possible, but can he look after those tyres to the end?
Yeah,
Ahmed 6 lap old already. Doubt it. Obviously Lee's going to have to pit again. He's going to try and get the F1 because he's already got 3rd, so he isn't too bothered with that.
but Neo has closed the gap up to Tibos very quickly, to under a second now, going onto the main straight to start lap 15.
Yeah.
Whether Tibos is trying to do some tyre conservation. Well. Yeah.
Matt's got less ERS than Neo, so looks like it's going to be straightforward for Neo tonight.
Very close between these two.
He's got that extra ERS, so it's much of a battle.
It's covering the outside is Matt. Yeah, he was on the racing line. Realistically, you want the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, he's staying behind him, so he's no. I think there's no pressure, is there really? It's 20 odd laps still to go, 21 laps to go.
Yeah.
So just no pressure with him. He's got fresher tyres, more ERS. He can save his ERS, save his tyres.
Yeah, in sector 1 and 2.
Ahmed and
Y
Yuri
Racer. Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't think Yuri's made a mistake, or has he?
He might have done. Was it Ahmed making a mistake? I'm not too sure. I don't think there's any damage on either car, but they are very close to each other now. I think it was Ahmed making the mistake because I believe Y Racer was close to Lee. Come to the pit stop as Lee's ran very wide going into the S section. So with that mistake from Ahmed, with that mistake from Ahmed has gifted Y Racer another position.
As they're going table. Neo and Matt. Oh, that defence inside. Oh, side by side. T1 back into T2. Can Neo get a cutback? Who's got the better run? Matt's had a bit of oversteer. Is he going to defend the inside? No, it looks not likely. Neo down the inside. Turn 4. Has he got it? Can Matt hold it down the outside? He's still there. Oh, bit of desync I think there. No contact whatsoever, but Matt holds on to P1 at the moment in F1.
Yeah, he's done that very well. That has basically mirrored what he did earlier on in the first stint. It's very key on some of these corners, with there being so close to the next corner. The inside line might not be the best point of action. If you hold it around the outside, you're going to have the inside for the following corner. So that might be what Matt was thinking, and plus that was the racing line as well, going into those corners.
But I think it might be a lost cause here for Matt, really. I know he wants to win, but it might be a lost cause. But we'll see.
Lee has retired. Lee is retired.
Lee's retired. Okay.
Yeah.
I get third.
Yeah. Outside for Neo going into turn 1. He's going to have the move done, but later on the race goes Tibos going into 1.
Inside for Neo. Can Matt get a better run out of the chicane? He does. Can he get back on the power? He's got no DRS though. Neo's got the DRS. Neo's going defensive here. Let's see what he can do into T4. Neo
doesn't manage to hang it.
Matt's not doing anything. I think Neo is going to have it. He's part of the buzz on the corner, and I think that is it. Done and dusted.
Yeah, and now it's what happened in the stint before. That once Neo got in front, he managed to pull away. Well,
look what's happened here now. Kyle and RoboJeep have lost heaps of time. Even Metsu here has now caught him up, and Mage Davis is behind RoboJeep as well. So these boys have lost out big time, but can they make it up in the second stint with faster tyres and fresher tyres as well? So,
yeah, they could be going for the one stop here.
RoboJeep nearly loses out at the S's.
Yeah, he's going to be vulnerable to Davis as well.
So Davis got to be patient here. Hopefully Kyle can hold up Metzer. Well, that was side by side. Round outside, Kyle's not fighting it too much. Is he doing a pit? No, he's still going.
Both drivers are not going to pit.
In provisional P1, and now is the race leader.
We'll keep an eye on Davis. He's got massive speed.
I think he is. Yeah, I think Matt is going to let Matt through.
The car's going to go around the outside into 1. Excellent stuff from the Haas, and he's retaken the lead from Metzer with an excellent move around the outside, but it's not over yet. Metzer gets a better move and has got the move
what happened
done.
To Cole there.
Yeah, he must have had a...
Davis got to be patient here. A bit of oversteer. He's got to be Davis. Got to be careful. I think that, Cole might have let him through there. I don't know what's happened there. He's pushed him out wide. Awkward.
Yeah, but these two drivers on the alternate strategy need to be very careful now.
So, has Metzer got any penalties? He's got a penalty. Has Davis got a penalty? Davis has not got a penalty, so he's got one warning. He's doing really well. But Metzer has got a penalty, so if Davis has got fresher tyres, there's no need to risk it here. Stays behind 3 seconds. Behind Metzer. The F2 victory is his, and that will make him one of the 4 wins in a row. And
what for Davis?
It's astonishing for Davis, yeah.
Oh, fantastic stuff.
In a row. From going from absolutely giving up on the game and then decides to come back, and he can't stop winning at the moment. So
no, RoboJeep has got the move on Kyle as well, way before the braking zone of turn 1. Yeah, so both these drivers might be struggling. Yeah, I think Kyle is struggling a little bit more.
He's really struggling.
Yeah, he's struggling a lot more than RoboJeep is. We know RoboJeep is very good on his tyres, and he might be susceptible to Y-Racer as well.
22, 23 on the supers and take ultras to the end.
Yeah, 22 would be the stop.
But Kyle is really struggling. So the front tyres look good. I think we're blading a bit on the left front, but if you can control those heats, rears, definitely take them. But I think as RoboJeep goes off the grass as well, you gotta watch out the S's. So we'll see. But as Yuri's caught up to him now on our hypers, so this should be as Kyle has an oversteer moment again. That gap for the race for the lead, well, we said it was over. It is now with 2-second gap to Neo and Matt.
We'll see if Davis gets a better run.
Just like Will
on
Grigg. RoboJeep and Carl are into the pits as well.
I'm going to keep on board with Davis in the slipstream.
The football equivalent of Will Grigg. He is completely on fire tonight. Will Grigg is on fire.
Yeah. And so is tyres.
As Davis is still behind Metzer, and Yuri catch-ups to these guys now. He's 7 old.
All around the outside for Davis into turn 4. He didn't make it stick this time, but a little bit of slide from Metzer on the exit of 5. Can Davis take advantage? Yeah, he's got 2 penalties compared to the one of Neo.
Now, so
yeah.
So Davis, if you're listening, mate, be patient. No need to risk it, mate. No need to risk it.
Yeah, keep it within that 3-second window, and you'll take the victory.
Keep it clean. Save some ERS, mate. Got it. As Yuri's in third place, but Ahmed, 12 lap hold supers. I think his podium chances are over. I think as RoboJeep and Carl have gone for ultras there. Yeah, I think that is it at the moment.
And we'll see if Davis can make any manoeuvres on Metzer into turn 1. He's got the DOS. He's using overtake mode on that on his EOS, but he's running very low at the moment compared to Metzer.
Both him and Metzer. Yeah, Metzer's got a tad more. But yeah, we'll see.
Can Davis do it into 4?
4, possibly.
He's going to look for the inside. Late on the brakes, he goes. He's got it stopped, but Metzer's going to be on his inside into 5.
Oh, argy bargy. Davis did give him room.
Yeah.
Metzer still shoves it in there.
And Metzer runs wide.
We'll see.
RoboJeep with a 3-second time
damage from somewhere. I think he might have had damage unless he hit to replace that, but I don't think he did, since he still came out ahead of Davis. Yes, he's struggling now. He's struggling. He nearly lost it. Ooh.
That was very close to the barrier on the exit
close.
of 11.
Oh, RoboJeep and Carl are going side by side out of turn 4 at the chicane. Turn 5 and 6, now in 7 and 8. As RoboJeep has got Kyle. This is all important for the championship, Pete.
It is very important. RoboJeep has to keep that position. He's got to keep it in front of Kyle. To keep basically himself and the rest of the F2 drivers and Team Speed drivers within the championship fight.
Carl currently in
be 6th
place in F2. Yeah, currently in 6th place in F2, and Metzer in 2nd, Yuri in 3rd. Anything open, and obviously don't count out Davis as well. you know, this could be his 4th win. He's got to save ERS now because, yeah, Metz has been saving. Metz has got a chip win as well.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Oh, a bit late there. A bit late from Metz there.
Oh, he's right on the gearbox of Davis now, going into the S section.
Yep.
He needs to keep it clean, does Metzer in. Oh, a little bit of a slide. Oh, catches it just
Metzer,
about.
Yeah, he's lost time now.
Yeah,
he's lost that now. So this is clean space for Davis now. This is what he needed. He needs to save some ERS. That's what he needed. He can probably run high on the straight, high or medium. But Metzer has caught back up again. Obviously, he's on that medium ERS setting. That gap for the lead then is now 4 seconds as it just tips over that 4-second mark as Matt's had a bit of a moment, but he's fine. He had a bit of a oversteer moment as Neo in 0 is literally cruising now. Oh, he was cruising before. He's now having a cruise all the way around the world.
Metz is closing up now into 1 once again. A lot later onto the brakes, but can he get a move done into 4?
Davis used low ERS or none in corners like that.
Neo gets a penalty as well, so that evens it out in penalties for the 2 leaders.
Does. I don't think we'll be too bothered though.
Metzer needs to think now. He needs to try and match the strategic call of the Ferrari boys. Who wants any chance of taking this race. He will probably pit earlier and get the undercut, but he's just got to keep it out the wall and out the barriers for the next couple of laps. I think around, if he was to do the 2-stop, he needs to pit about now.
If Metzer does pit, I don't think he could get it back in time. That's 20 odd seconds with.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure Davis will be able to go to the end. Robojeep is doing.
I'm sure he will. He's got 2 lap pressure tyres on him, so.
Yeah, but there's still 12 laps to go. He's got to run 24 laps on a set of supers.
We'll see. We'll see what they'll do.
Yeah.
I think, you know, don't count out Robojeep and Paul.
Yeah, they're both on the quicker tyre at the moment, and they'll be in the fight.
Metzer's in the pits. Metzer is in the pits.
Yeah. Ultras, is it?
In second now.
Yeah, Ultras it is.
As well.
Ultras for both drivers. Well, will they come out in respect to this battle?
This is time to push now.
Well, will they come out in this battle, Robojeep and Kyle? Kyle's going to have the move on Robojeep into 1. Up the inside goes Kyle into 1.
Yeah, Kyle's got him.
Yeah, under the brakes.
Yeah, I think Robojeep would have let him go through just to, save some ERS behind him now.
Well, this happened. I think it was the lap previous. Kyle got the move done the lap previous, and made him through.
He's going to jump. Oh, so Metzer has come out ahead of Kyle.
Yeah, they're very important.
So I didn't see that. I thought they were behind him, but
no, it's just Wyros are behind.
So where is Davis going to come out? He's coming in the pits. Yep, he's coming in the pits. Do not speed in the pits. I don't know if Metzer
keeps it
changed
nice
the
and slow.
I don't think he changed the wind, or did he?
No, he didn't. He wouldn't have done because the gap to Davis is 20 seconds. This is going to be very close on exit, I believe, between these two. I'm going to keep on board with Metzer to see where he comes out in respect.
Metzer final corner now.
Where is Davis coming down the pits? He might have him on the overspeed.
Metzer will have him though. Yes, he does. What about Kyle? Kyle is nowhere near. Would he have the overspeed? No. Yep, so Davis now, again, the mind games are there as well. He's got no penalties. He's got a 1 lap fresher tyres. He's got those fresher tyres. That's all he needs now. Just keep it calm. He's got ARS saved up. He's got more ARS than Metzer, so he can burn a bit now. Try and catch up. But yeah, 11 laps to go now. 12 laps. But yeah. So Yuri, what's Yuri thinking now? He's
already took a second. He's already took a second out of Kyle and Robojeep on the last lap. There was 4. It's now only 3.
Matt had pitted as well. I don't know if we didn't notice that.
Yeah, but I think Matt's going to come out way behind Neo. Yeah, Neo's already on the exit of the pits, and Matt's a long way behind, about 4 seconds.
Yeah. So yeah, well, if it wasn't wrapped up before, it's definitely wrapped up now. Ahmed currently leading the race then.
He's in the pits. Yeah, he's in the pits. Spoke too soon. He's in the pits.
He led the race for a bit.
Yeah, just the one lap.
Just that one lap.
Yeah, it's up to Davis now to keep within that 3 seconds of Metzer, or even just try and overtake him. He's in the 1 second window to be getting that DRS.
10 laps to go.
RoboJeep is right on the back of Kyle. He's going to have to go around the outside into one. And he gets the move completed, and Kyle has nothing to defend for the inside of the next corners. Wyerson gets a 3 second penalty. Well. Can Kyle fight it back into turn 4? RoboJeep will have the double detection of DRS to defend and keeps the position, so that will be very important. And now can RoboJeep basically back Kyle into Wyerson to catch up and make it a 3-way fight for the final podium position? As Wyerson is closing, and Kyle has lost a lot of time. It's already a second now behind, and Wyerson is nearly within that 1 second window.
That's set at 1:15.
I'm going to have a look at fastest laps as well.
Pit at the end for Hypers and even improve that even more, because there's a 25-second gap to Metzer.
Let's have a look at fastest laps. Yeah, 15.5.
Matt's got a penalty as well, another penalty. So, yeah.
Yeah, he won't be taking away the lead unless Neo gets another penalty. At the moment, the person who's getting the fastest...
Yuri's got Kyle. Yuri's got Kyle before the starts finish straight. Should that come back to Horton now? Yuri's got no DRS. Kyle has though. Yuri's going defensive. Kyle's looking for it, but he's not. He's going to have to back out of it. Kyle, Yuri very deep on the brakes. That is it. That is it.
Cuts the corner as well.
Back into 6th or back into 6th overall, but 5th in the
fourth.
Fourth.
And he's going to have to move on the inside.
Yuri's going to come back again. Is he going to leave him space? Yes. Bit of wheel banging. As Yuri goes back out wide. He's still there. Carl's
still there between these two. Excellent move from Yuri.
Especially with those fresher tyres on those ultras. So, yeah. Yuri back into 4th. Now sets his eyes onto RoboJeep.
Yeah, they've lost.
Is still behind. He's using hot lap in the stadium section. No, I wouldn't suggest that.
Probably going for fastest lap.
Metzer will see.
For F2.
He's got that wind damage. I think Metzer's definitely got the pace over Davis today, but I think that wind damage is hindering him. So it's a shame.
Davis might have a good chance on the second DRS state to take Metzer if he keeps nice and close on the exit of 3. As Kyle pits. Kyle has pitted already.
He's currently in last place. Is he going for... this is what he's going for. He is going for the F2 fastest lap.
It must be, but that's still quite early on a set of hypers to be...
Now, could there be tactics in play? Could Ahmed do something that could hinder his fastest lap?
Yeah.
We will see. We shall see.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, fastest lap is only worth the one singular point. It is a point, but when you're finishing in 6th compared to 5th, that one point just loses a point rather than gains a point, really. Because he would have finished, if he'd finished in 5th, he'd have had 10 points. Is it 10? 10 for 5th?
Yeah.
And then 8th for 6th. Whereas if he gets fastest lap, he'd be getting 9 points. So he's still losing a point doing that extra stop, unless his tyres did overheat and it was a requirement to pit this early on. And just to save himself from not finishing the race, he had to do a sensible pit stop.
Just put it into 0.
Yeah, but that DRS and slipstream is helping him a little bit. Who gets the better exit? No, he's in hot lap now. Davis is in hot lap.
He's been in a hot lap for a while.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Get out of it, man.
He's still in hot lap.
Run. He's there. Into turn 6 and 7. Has he got him?
No,
Metzer's
not
still
yet.
there. This could be. Oh no, Metzer's backed out. He knows he's got
very sensible.
Damage.
Very sensible.
Davis. Right. Metzer's still there. Oh, he's got a better run through the S's. Can he make a move into the stadium section?
He's going to have to do it around the outside if he does. Not later under the brakes into
round the
12.
outside, could he cut back? No, he's not going for the cut back. Round the outside.
If Metzer was
on the apex.
If Metzer was sensible, he'd hold back and he'd get the DRS and slipstream coming into 1.
Metzer has got the better DRS, more ERS, sorry. Then Davis is going to run out. It's been a disaster on the last few laps with him. Not saving ERS enough, he's run out for this lap, that's it.
Yeah, Metzer was saving ERS as well going into 1, so he put it into low ERS and still got the move done. It just shows how even if you have no ERS at all, even just the smallest amount of usage can benefit you more than just having none. So what Davis needs to do is just spend a lap just saving up ERS as quickly as possible. It is quite easy to save ERS
I'd say
in the second half.
Actually, I think a few laps behind Metzer. I reckon. Just so that bar is near enough full. And then attack.
Y-Racer has caught up to the back of Robo Jeep on those pressure ultra softs within that 1 second window. But it's nice to see a few battles keep going with 5 laps to go when they cross the finish line.
Does Davis go for it? Does he know? I'm sure he knows.
He probably does know. I know that Robo Jeep listens to the stream, so he'll be playing it and probably can have Davis hearing it. So
we'll see.
Will any of these drop? I haven't seen. I'm going to check lap times quickly of fastest lap, and Kyle doesn't have the fastest lap at the moment by 1/10.
No,
not even 1/10, 1/100th of a second between Y-Racer. Y-Racer's done a 1:17.131 and Kyle's done a 1:17.144.
Yeah, could he do it this lap? His tyres are going off now.
Davis has got the move done on Metzer for the lead of this Grand Prix. But will Metzer try and fight it back into 7th? He doesn't.
Metzer is saving ARS as well. He's saving it up for the straight.
Kyle gets a penalty, so that won't give him the fastest lap either.
He hasn't got much ERS, so I think that fastest lap at the moment is going to Yuri in F2.
And Yuri got the move done on Robo Jeep as well to take away that podium position from the Toro Rosso driver.
This helps the Renault boys. A third and a second.
Can Metzer now? It looks like he's going to have an easy run into 1 on Davis. Overtake mode, DRS, probably rich fuel mixture as well. Gets the move done way before the braking zone of 1 and retakes the lead from Davis on those fresher tyres. Davis, as you said, should be saving it. Almost contact between the two drivers. Which driver's going to have the?
He's listening. He's listening.
Yeah. He's not listening enough. He's got it in. He's only got it in. He's got it in 0. Yeah.
Middle sector.
Yeah.
Middle last sector. Save it. There's no room to overtake, so save it, mate. If you want more.
You're going to be within that 1 second, no matter what.
That's where it drains the most. That's where you need it.
Yeah.
Metzer's got a penalty, so that's it. Right.
Can you just see if
Davis has got 2 warnings?
Davis has got 2 warnings. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Whether Davis is. So all it takes is.
Still got a penalty. He's got 1 warning after that. So again,
Metzer's going to
mistake from Davis, and that could still have Metzer the win.
Yeah. Metzer needs to lead Davis into a mistake to basically force him to get that penalty, and then it just nullifies who will take this win. And at the moment it could be anyone's. They're basically overtaking each other every lap, but I don't know whether Davis is going to do it this time. He's going to have to do it round the outside into 1. It will have the inside into 2. Nearly a little bit of contact between the two drivers and gets the move done. It will have the double dose of DRS going into 4, so Metzer will have to rethink.
Right.
And
Davis save ERS now.
Yeah, both drivers are saving ERS as well.
To 0.
Yeah.
You're not putting. You still got that 4, mate. Put it down to 0.
Yeah.
That's 1. 0. 0. 1 lower than 1. Down. No, you still got to unload. Put it down. Oh,
yeah, tell your teammate what he's supposed to be doing. But yeah, what's going to happen here is if Davis gets another penalty, it's all going to go down to who's going to be. Oh, very wide from Metzer on the exit of 11. I think that corner there is actually quite easy. If you run wide, it doesn't give you a penalty, give you a warning sometimes. So very beneficial for Metzer there to not get that extra warning. But yeah, it's going to go down to whoever's leading on the start of the final lap. At the moment, they've just started lap 34. So when they're starting lap 36, if they keep overtaking each other on this main start-finish straight, as Metzer looks like he's going to have to do it round the outside, same way Davis did. Into 1, he's going to have the inside into 2, very close between these two drivers, and gets the move done. Is he going to have a better exit?
Yeah, he's got a better run. Oh, they're very close. Is Davis going to go to the inside? I think he is. He's got nowhere else. He's saving it. Almost as well. That was very close.
Very close between these two drivers, and yeah, so from the looks of things, if Davis overtakes him on lap 35 and then Carl overtakes him on the start of lap 36, Metzer should be able to hang on to finish the race in first come the finish line, but with penalties he won't do, as Neo gets a 3-second time penalty. But Davis looks like he's going to try it round the outside into 12, goes off a little bit wide, gives him the space but hangs on. Does Metzer for this lead. He is trying to force Davis into making a mistake to try and get himself that penalty. Bit cheeky for Metzer, but he's going to be defenceless going into 1 once again. He's got loads of ERS, does Metzer. What does he have? He has loads compared to Davis. As Ahmed is retired.
What's happened to Ahmed? This could help Kyle here.
Have a little ride on board with Kyle to see where he's lost it.
Last corner. I think he's got to be lost last corner. Yep, he's done a Formula E. He's done a Formula E. He's done is it Lucas Di Grassi? No, it weren't Lucas Di Grassi. Daniel Lapp? I don't know. One of the Jaguar drivers did that in Formula E.
Yeah, and Davis has got the move on Metzer going into turn 4 with the extra DRS.
Metzer's just toying with him now. Metzer's just toying with him. He's got loads of DRS.
Yeah. He
wants to force Davis into a mistake now to get a penalty. And then that's it.
Because he will have DRS and slipstream into 1 on the final lap, as he runs very wide on exit 11 once again, going into 12. Keeps it behind him at the moment. Huge gap to these and the leaders, but Metzer just has got to try and keep it clean. He doesn't want to give himself another penalty, but he wants to.
The leader in F2, Davis starts the final lap then. Metzer still behind him.
Yeah. Will Metzer get anywhere near to making a move
down to the wire.
Into 1?
Neo is closing in into the stadium section.
Yeah, we're going to ride on board with Neo as he comes through the final couple of corners. He nearly laps his teammate coming to the end of this Grand Prix. Around the final corner he comes and takes a very comfortable lead from Matt Tibos and crosses the line in first. Excellent stuff from Neo, had the better pace compared to the rest of the drivers. Tibos comes round in second, but we're going to go back on board with this little battle for the lead in F2 between Davis and Metzer. Metzer still behind him, and with that penalty,
I think this could be Davis's now.
It could be Davis's indeed. There's not very.
But without Metzer, he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. He might have lost it there though in the S's there. He tried to put a dummy
into the stadium section now. Not many places to overtake.
Late break. Well, he could do it right in this corner here.
So he had the line but didn't go for it. Almost close enough.
But just wasn't close enough. And
yeah, it looks like Davis. Yeah.
He's going to win 4 out of 4. Metzer's going to be kicking himself. He's got. Is he doing donuts? Or is he not?
He is.
He's going across the line.
Yeah.
Yuri going to finish in 3rd. Podium in such a long time for the Dutchman.
Rubber Jeep. Oh, and hits the back of Metzer's.
Kyle has run out of fuel.
Kyle has run out. No, he has. It looks like he wouldn't be going that.
Like he has run out of fuel.
Yeah, he wouldn't be going in fourth at 96 mile an hour.
So I don't think so. I don't doubt much he has run out of fuel. Because he's not putting full throttle on it. But you never know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You never know.
We'll just have a little look at fastest laps.
Robo Jeep is dead on the main straight.
Yeah, because he hit the back of the McLaren coming across the line.
Oh, Carl is doing donuts. This is too premature.
He shouldn't be doing donuts if he hasn't won the championship, which he hasn't. No, I'd understand it if he had. Yet. Save those donuts for if you do it. But he comes across the line in 5th.
Yeah,
10 points for him. Yeah, you're going to run out of fuel. But yeah, I believe he still didn't manage to take fastest lap away from Yuri.
Oh, what about 10th?
Yeah, by that single... No, it was by 100th of a second.
Yeah. I got 10th, Pete.
You got 10th?
Yeah, that's what it came up with, 10th.
Yeah, sure you did. So you're gonna claim a podium for not racing?
I got 10th, yeah, I'm not right, yeah. Great game, isn't it?
Yeah, Haas celebrating once again on the top step of the podium.
This is a Ferrari on the podium.
Yeah, you'll be happy about that.
Yep, so Davis. Well, so RRT Neo, repping it for the RRT boys.
Yeah.
Takes another victory in F1. Matt Tibos, it takes second championship winner of season 1. Davis, 4 wins on the bounce now. Metzer, 4th, second. He's going to be kicking himself. He's got damage. Yuri, first podium in 113 years. Robo Jeep behind him in 4th. Kyle in 5th, and obviously Ahmed crashed out, and Lee being the non-finishers.
And you didn't classify as well.
EVR matter. So there you go.
Yeah, no.
I've done a Julian Palmer.
Yeah. So Wyatt actually gets the bonus point for F.
And Davis is the only driver not to get a penalty.
Yeah, great stuff for him. Yeah.
Well, mate, fair play. Yeah. Driver of the day, or message.
Before I end it, I think driver of the day will go to. I think it will be Davis, because he did start at the back. He did start on the hypers as well. Made the 2-stop work and took victory, and was the cleanest one out there without getting a single penalty. So excellent stuff for Ferrari, for him.
Yep. Ferrari, Forza Ferrari.
Yeah. So we're going to end this broadcast right now. So I hope you all have enjoyed watching this quite thrilling Mexican Grand Prix, especially for F2. Next week we have Brazil, 2 rounds left to go. Can Kyle seal it before the final round in Abu Dhabi? Will Evian Manor be able to race this time and not disconnect because of his because of the game, and keep his chances of a constructors fight alive? Or will Haas run away with it? Again, they've extended the lead by a further 10 points, with Kyle finishing in 5th in F2. So hope you can all join us next week for Brazil. I've been your commentator, Peter, and I'd like to thank Matt for joining us as well. Otherwise he would have been racing. But yeah, cheers Matt, and yeah, goodbye.